Right.
concern about anything. I mean, very early
Right.
on, if you remember, there was a company called Surgisphere, who no one had ever heard of, who managed to get an article published in the Lancet saying that hydroxychloroquine was completely useless. And everyone said, well, how on earth did you get this data? You know, the data from Australia, which they claimed, I can't remember the exact figures, but there's something like 3 times as many people in their study as that even existed that had COVID. And eventually, a number of people said, well,
Just,
this was just made up. You just made this up, didn't you?
you just
And
invented this data. You pulled this
yeah,
data out of your ass, and Lancet
yeah,
published it. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's just,
I
and to what end? To what end? To
yeah,
prevent the use of a readily available, inexpensive, effective treatment. And ivermectin has been treated exactly the same way. Ivermectin
yeah,
is an amazing substance. It's got profound antiviral properties that no one had even investigated before, although a lot of people knew it. A lot of people knew it. A lot of practitioners had observed through their use of ivermectin in tropical disease that it did other things besides kill parasites.
yes.
But it was not it hadn't been investigated for that, and as a result, here's the biggest problem with ivermectin is it costs 25 cents. That's the
Yeah,
problem with it. I can go down to the
yeah.
farm store and get a tube of ivermectin horsewormer for $12, with which I can treat 15 people. And
Yeah.
that's the real problem. That's the real problem with it. And I'll
Well, I
tell
think
you that it
it's
works.
when the pandemic, whatever term you want to use, first came along. I was looking at advising people to take hydroxychloroquine and vitamin C and vitamin D, which all have benefits. Vitamin D is powerful immune benefits on the immune system, and vitamin C, when you're infected with serious infections, your body starts burning through vitamin C. Animals, when they get infected, use up a lot of vitamin C, produce and synthesize more for themselves.
Hmm.
Obviously, we can't do that; we can't produce it. And again, with these conditions, what they did with hydroxychloroquine was that they gave it to people in clinical trials when they were extremely ill, really seriously, almost dying, and then they gave excessive doses of the drug, which showed no benefit and potentially harm. But I mean, these were just ridiculous. These were set up to fail studies.
Right. It's what it sounds
Yeah,
like. How do we test this substance under these clinical circumstances in a way that will guarantee that we can continue to develop our expensive vaccines and our expensive uh, acyclovir
no,
derivatives? That
yeah.
I mean,
Well, if
acyclovir
you,
and famciclovir, all these antiviral drugs are are they don't hardly do a damn thing, and everybody that's ever taken them knows they don't do a damn thing. They're hideously expensive and they're ineffective. And at the same time, hydroxychloroquine used correctly and ivermectin used correctly are inexpensive. They are approved medications. They can be used and prescribed by any doctor in the United States for anything the doctor wants to prescribe them for. I don't know if it's the same in the UK, but here a doctor can write you a prescription for any approved drug for whatever purpose he wants to apply it. And that's between the doctor and the patient. And in order to do a test on ivermectin, all you would need to do would be to write a prescription for ivermectin to a person sick with COVID and then just watch what happens. Now, the fact that doesn't result in a peer reviewed study does not mean that it does not yield data. And this
no,
is
but
this is the
yeah.
hilarious part, isn't it? Is what is
Well, the
data?
industry, yeah. Well, the industry actually they have this saying that essentially when one case does not mean. The plural of anecdote is not data. And in fact, it used to be in medicine that the plural of anecdote was data.
In fact, it's data.
Yeah.
The plural of anecdote is the phenomenology. This is
Yes.
what happens. Now, you guys can write about it, or you can choose not to write about it, but it doesn't alter the fact that it happened.